So last week we saw GraphQL demo, deployment. We didn't talk about culture settings. We'll talk about it. Talk about harvest and content tree. Oh yeah, Matthias is not here yet. Okay. New page. This demos. Do we have demos? Antoine? We have demos, Antoine.
Yes.
Okay. Antoine has demos. At least a theme, at least. I don't know for the rest, but at least that. Jasmin?
I don't have any demos, but nothing that I can think of.
I will do one for you.
Thank you.
And I will call it view localization. Culture-based view localization. Because we worked on it. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I did some tests and it was beautiful. So I will show how beautiful it is. It's nothing, well, it's nothing new from an Orchard.1 perspective, but it's in Orchard core, so here it goes. And Matthias is here. Matthias, demos? The content tree is done?
It's not ready yet.
Ah!
Sorry. It's very early.
I know Spanish people, they are slow. You do too many naps at lunchtime. That's why.
No, I'm on vacation.
Where are you? Are you somewhere else than usual?
No, at home.
Okay, good. Where is it?
In Córdoba, close to Sevilla.
Okay. Oh, very warm. Yeah, I know Sevilla. I've been there.
Very nice.
Yeah, I've been there. But I was too small to remember. I think I was very, very, very small. But my family is from there. That's why. You know the name Ross, R-O-S? I think that means ginger in slang Spanish, I think. Not sure.
Not sure.
Okay. So demos and topics, if there are some topics. Status first. Okay. Close. So Orchard.1, we got many pull requests merge. So what did you get? Many. So we got from Hermes. We got weird manage menu permission. The issue was that, let me think. This is not it. I can't remember. What was it? We talked about it. He was at the meeting, and maybe because of that. Yes. So the permission was not applied because the content handler was not correctly taking the permission with the resource as a parameter. So he had to copy paste the editor and updater controller action from the content to the menu management, and then he had to replace the metadata to redefine how to edit a menu and how to edit a menu. What's the URL to use this new custom edit method? That's it. So he could call the authorize service with the menu correctly as a resource to try to check access. This way you can correctly define permissions for each menu individually. So that was the fix. Edit placement on admin only. The placement editor was not checking correctly that it only works for the admin, so now it's doing it. Otherwise you could change the placement of like the user editor is also used on the front end. So if you change the backend placement, it will also impact the front end, which is not intended. this placement is just this dynamic placement is just for the backend. Then Matteo from the same company, Laser, fixed locking issue by adding the indexing task record as a list of tables that should not do a lock on the table. Projection test has been fixed. Jay updated all the dependencies that need to be updated. Owin, JSON.NET. Then project has built dependency of Orchard.Web. So when you generate a new project, it will be added as a dependency. So it gets compiled automatically. And then code generation, normalizing the line endings of the files which are generated during code generation. So lots of new good things. Questions? Orchard core. Wow, lots of new branches. Oh, it's always super hard to follow what's happening here. Too much contribution. So here, 7 days, what did we do? Export media. It has been merged. So we should see after that. This one, maybe this one. Maybe it has been merged after, we'll see, or maybe you already talked about it. So Matthias working. Yeah, I'm confused by the branches here. Okay, this is the content tree branch. That's why it's on the left. Okay, so we are still working on that. That's good. So where is the dev branch here? Here, this one. So this is the second one. Okay, that's good. So second one. Exactly, it has been merged. Save and continue has been merged. Let's see if I missed something here. Abstract or deployment execution tool for accessibility. We demoed it last week, so we talked about it. Update, update README with more documentation about media management. That's good. Culture settings so was merged, and I will show you how it works. Beautiful. Save and continue was merged, which means when you have the save and publish buttons in the editor, there is a drop down that lets you stay on this page once it's saved or published. Otherwise, it will go back on the list of items. This is a refactoring in progress to minimize the number of projects we have, but I got some reviews, so I will change some things. This is reverted, so I won't talk about it. This is what I did. A fixed variable in agency recipe. Oh, James. Oh, that's you. Okay, that's James Hawkins. Okay, so now I know who you are. Okay, so fixed the dates here. They were hard coded, and there were 2 steps in the PR at first. James, I don't know what you did. You tried to use, yes. At first you used, I'm just showing it because it's interesting. At the top here, you will see there was a comment now, which was date to isostring. Okay, this is what was before. And I think, so in the end, you fixed actually this command, which is wrong. This is new date to isostring, which should have been called, and then you used now everywhere. But looking at the other recipes, I suggested to just remove that and don't put anything. It will be null because in these they were like inner content items mostly. You don't need to set them. They will, when they will be created, they will get the current date time. So that's fine. We need to use, so, and then you fixed my fix, which was to actually fix the now call because it was wrong. I thought it was right to put the new, but we keep the comments just for people who want to use now. Now will make sense if you want the same value of a date time in multiple places of the recipe, but not let the live value be written, because there might be some differences in seconds or milliseconds in the end. So if you want a fixed date, then you use the now. You get now at some point, and then you use now, the now variable somewhere in the recipe. But right now that's fine. For these ones, we don't care. Removing async side property in Razor view. So there are new things here. I will just go back on this one because this is not just the culture setting, it's also new things available. So if I remove that, so the culture property in the site settings is the site's default culture as an ISO language. So the site's default culture, okay? And we have a new, I didn't show the new property. There is a new property which is called supported cultures, which are all the supported cultures for the site. And I will explain what it is later. And then there is a new object available in all Razor pages. Not in all Razor pages. This is liquid. In all liquid pages, you have access to the culture object on top of the site object. So this is the site object. If you look here, the site, where is it? Where is it? Yes, the site object has base URL, calendar, culture, page size, site name. So this is what we use usually, site.sitename, okay, from a liquid view. Then now there is also culture, which has name, the current culture name, so the name of the culture that is used in the current page, NUS, and dir, which is the direction of the current culture, which will contain either RTL for right to left or nothing, nothing being the default, left to right. So ENUS will be empty there, but if you use Persian, it will be RTL. Okay, so that's new here. Other documentation, no, and there is also an object. I didn't mention it in the in the Razor documentation anywhere. That's bad. I should. There is another object which is, well, I will show you. Where is it? Where is it? I'm lost. Here. So site. So this change made necessary to have site being awaitable, but now I change it again, so site is not, doesn't have to be awaited. It's too ugly, otherwise people will forget about it and it will just break. So site is a new property which is available in all the pages, and that is an iSite, so that has access to all the iSite properties, culture being one of them. And there is, I will show it in the layout, there is another set of properties which are available. So if you look at all the layouts, in Razor, for instance, we changed the body to also have the dir property, and in this case it's at Orchard core, which is an helper object, dot culture dir, which will contain the direction of the current culture. And there is another one which is Orchard core dot culture name. Okay. And these are helper methods to access the culture info dot current UI culture. So instead of having to type that, there is a helper object, and this way you don't have to do a using of system.globalization. You can just go to orchard.core.culturename, which is always available in all the pages from the themes. Okay, or that inherits from Razor page actually. So that's the new properties. So fixing the example, then now here, this is what was missing. Thank you, James. Antoine Laspiaz, logout permission endpoint, a new contributor also, Hank Shoemaker. Yeah, I talked with one of his colleagues. There are 3 devs that are working on Orchard together, and this one is just fixing one of the permissions for an endpoint in the OpenID module, allow logout endpoint, so you can check or uncheck this setting to allow this endpoint. Very simple implementation. Okay. Updating dependencies. So I updated Gint and Fluid for performance reasons, and also yes SQL. This is what I think. Yeah, this is what Antoine did. Updating also yes SQL with all the library packages that it need to be updated, and also for performance reasons. And the difference is visible, definitely, because of Fluid for once, and for database also. Then there is a new PR with other libraries that will be updated, MarkDig, SPNet, nlog, okay, and Fluid. This one is not necessary, Antoine. It's just that I published a new version to fix the NuGet API key. So this one is binary compatible. It's identical to the previous one. It's just the API key was changed. So this is. Then we have fixed return not working on tenants. It has been merged. No, it hasn't been merged. Where is dev branch? Everything else is not merged. Okay, I have another demo. Oh my God. So PRs, we have Antoine fixing docs. This one has been merged. We have content tree not yet as a PR. This one shorter buttons labels, which will be merged soon. This one, this is a MiniProfiler PR. We'll show you, and that's it. Good. Questions? Did I miss anything? Okay, demo.
What do you think that 10.x is going to be released, or 10.3? Whatever.
Yeah, when you want to read it. Sipke should have done it last year, I think, and then he lost track. Then I asked Benedek to do it, and then we lost track of him. Who wants to release 1.10.3? Can do it. I will just explain to you what to do, and you will do it.
I've just been waiting.
Aha, that's the issue.
I've just been waiting for.
Oh, you know what? What you can do is ping Sipke and Benedek, and harass them and say, "Hey, are you releasing 1.10.3?" Ping Benedek. I'm sure there is an issue to track that, or one that was like 1.10.3 was blocked at some point because Benedek wanted to fix the dynamic compilation with C# 6 or 7, and then he fixed it. So maybe you can just ping the thread just to remind him that we can ship 1.10.3.
Okay.
That's fine. It's polite. That's fine. Just maybe they forgot. So we can release it. And the release process, meaning just ensuring that all the tests pass, because today they don't pass, so someone has to check the test why they don't pass. To type build.cmd to build everything, which will run the test and build the packages and everything. And then write the release notes and publish the binaries on the website and on Azure. That's it. I have an Excel sheet that I will share with whoever will do the release to follow all the steps that are needed. Then demos. Antoine, you ready?
Yes.
You can share when you want.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear and we can see.
I created an Orchard core theme based on Start Bootstrap, the content code resume.
Good job.
So this is how it looks like.
It looks like the most complex theme we've ever had in Orchard.
Yes, yes, really simple.
Who's Clarence Taylor?
I don't know.
Oh.
It's like John Doe, the new John Doe. And so I published it on NuGet. NuGet. Sorry. And I used
you know you can say NuGet like in French.
Okay.
Because
and I created a repository on GitHub to track the changes, and I used Adveyor to publish it.
Beautiful.
On NuGet.
Beautiful.
Yes. And how I proceeded, I created an empty site based on the agency theme. Then I created all the types contained in the page. So I will show you in the admin. In the content definition, my landing page contains multiple parts. Most of them are bags. So, for example, you see experience, education, skills, interests, awards. These are bag parts, and these are the menu you can see here.
So it's a single page.
Yes.
With different sections.
And for example,
and so that's why it's mostly identical to the agency, which is also a single page with different sections. Each section is represented by a list of a specific content type.
Yes, so experience contains the jobs, the company you've been working for, education, the school, or I called it the teaching you have studied, and etc. for the skill, the interest, the awards. A simple one is also the links. It contains a link, and a link is just a simple content item which is not creatable, listable, draftable. It just contains a URL field, text field, and an icon field. So when you edit the landing page, you just manage the links, and I can open it in preview mode, open it side by side.
But if you have never seen the preview mode, be careful, okay? It will be a shock.
Oh no, it was working.
It's working, no? Oh, no, it doesn't work. What did you break? Remove the links, maybe an issue with the layout.
I reload the page. I reload the preview page. Okay, weird.
I haven't tried it for a long time. Maybe it's broken.
Okay, so here are the links on the left. Here are the links on the preview on the right. So if I move the LinkedIn link at the end, it has moved at the end.
Yeah, the refresh rate is not that good, so we didn't see anything, but, well, we didn't see it moving, but we trust you.
You can see LinkedIn is at the end.
Yeah.
And move it in second position.
Do it again.
Oh, second
drop?
position.
Yeah. That's good. It's like magic.
So I made a recipe inside. So here is just a simple Orchard core application. So pointing to application.cms.targets, and I referenced the resume.orchard.core NuGet package.
So are the issues you mentioned on GitHub fixed with the creation of the package?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
it's because of target frameworks?
Yes.
Okay, so we need to file an issue in .NET CLI.
Okay.
I will see with Jean-Thierry if he can have a repro, because that's bad. And that's a .NET issue.
Okay. And so I made everything like the agency. So my template is in a liquid file. I even have a widget in an HTML file, so I can edit the left part.
Oh, you made a widget,
Yes.
which
Yes.
which is bad. That's good, but that's bad also.
Okay.
I love widgets and I hate widgets.
Okay, let me show you why. Because I created a subsite to my main site.
Sure,
So
I saw that, but doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You don't
It is a
have
tenant
to create.
called. Okay, and I wanted to edit and put my picture on the left.
Okay, so it's a widget also.
So I use the widget. And I can edit in content, layers, in the left zone.
So you made a left zone.
Sorry, what?
You made a left zone.
Yes.
That's a very bad name. Because when someone will tweak the theme to be compatible with RTL, it will be on the right.
Okay.
Well, I know I'm just making it up, but maybe. So maybe you should have called, I don't know, header or menu. Yeah, sidebar is fine. I know, how do they call that in the theme? Maybe they have a name already and you should have used it. That's fine, not to worry. Just pay pitching.
Yes. That's it.
So, yeah, .NET developer with more than 14 years of experience in .NET.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's doable. That's doable.
Yes.
Okay. Good. That's great. That's great. So if we, so I will request. Now I want to request control. I will share. I turn to share. And if I open Edge and I go to AntoineGriffard.com.
Yes.
Okay, it's not secured first. And if I go to /CV,
are you sharing?
I am. Can you see? Can't you?
No.
Oh, you're the only one who can't see actually.
Yes.
Okay.
Why do you say it's not secure?
Because, oh, I type HTTP. Oh, there is no redirection. Oh, you mean there is also HTTPS? Okay.
No.
No, okay. So that's why I'm saying it's not secure, because Chrome was showing me not secure. I can go to CV and is it fast? Network. Time 186 milliseconds. Yeah. Is it hosted in France?
Yes.
So everyone can see my Skype. That's fine. Because yeah, so there is at least 100 milliseconds of latency to go to Redmond. We should try to send lots of requests to his site just to see how it behaves. Okay, good, that's great. I like it. So while we're on that topic, I added some more topics here. Community, David Hayden. So if I join my machine, which is here, to open the Twitter feed. Currently writing an article about that, and the Twitter feed is where is he? David Hayden. David Hayden, who most of you should know because he's a very well-known MVP and a long-time Orchard CMS contributor, and apparently he started to use Orchard Core just to test it. Diving into Orchard Core CMS theming, developed 3 themes with setup recipes this week, coming soon. Freelancer, editorial. I think they are also Start Bootstrap theme, right? Freelancer and editorial. Antoine.
Yes, they are.
So don't do that because he's done them. But we don't know.
I saw them.
Maybe you won't release them publicly, you know.
No, don't take away.
So you did this one.
Yes.
So which one did he say? Editorial and coming soon.
Freelancer.
So this one, should say, and the freelancer, this one. Okay. And I assume he did the same way you did. Otherwise, I hope he will watch this video and see how you did that with the back parts. We'll see. Because there are also single page themes. So that, and then develop a robots.txt module. Interesting, because we have one in Orchard 1. That's interesting, to make a middleware that will provide a customized editable content of a robots.txt. That works. Then develop my first liquid filter for Orchard Core. So liquid filter, which means this thing, these are here. With filter being like an operation you can apply on any value in liquid. That's good. And apparently we are trending on GitHub. Maybe because Scott Hanselman decided to test his new machine by building Orchard Core and to see how fast it builds, because, well, 143 projects to build takes some time, unless you have a very good machine. And he tweeted about it, so maybe that's why we are trending on GitHub. Probably, man. So, good. Now, demos. I have 2 demos. Where am I on Orchard 2? I am on the MiniProfiler branch, so I will show you that. And I can also show you the culture, because this branch is also on top of culture, which is in dev. Oh, it already works. Look at that. Beautiful. You see? Boom. That works. That's it. That's the demo. Almost. So what is it? Nick, do you like it, right?
The profiler.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's great. It was super easy to do, so I just did it. I just wanted to know, so I'm like, okay, nobody will do it if I don't do. So, so here what we have, we can see the controller itself. And this is just confirming everything we already know. So the controller is the item display, controller item and display action in the contents controller. based on the auto route, we go to this controller. This controller will actually do one single SQL query to load the content item, and then probably another one to load the blog post, because the blog and then loads all the blog posts. Then we have some shapes rendering, and we can see the time it takes to render every shape here. There are more columns to see with children, so inclusive, exclusive, and we can still show trivial, which is all the elements that took less than 1 millisecond, apparently. And we can see all these shapes which have been built, like when we build a menu, we build a menu. And this is interesting because this is exactly the last commit here. This is called support shape morphing, which, because these 2 lines, they are actually the same shape which morphed a menu item into a menu item link. So there are 2 different rendering events of the same shape. That caused me an issue at some point. But you can see menu item to second menu item, and this is it. We have 2 menu items here, which are links. What is interesting is that it's supposed to be cached, so we should not see that, but it was the first call. So let's try again. And you can see now that we can still see menu item and menu item link. So thanks to the MiniProfiler, there is an issue. It should not be rendered. I will look into it. Because it's supposed to be cached. Weird. Also, an issue you can see is that we can't see the SQL query, though every request has a SQL query. If I do Control F5, there are 2 things which will happen. So we still can't see it. F5 again. So if I do a control, see, I did a Control F5, which means the previous request issued new requests to every static content. So we can see them because they are rendered by the middleware, static middleware, so we can see them. That's why they appear as different requests. And then here we can see again the page rendering. And this time it's correctly cached. So maybe it works. It's just that for some reasons it was not cached anymore. If I go to /admin, the MiniProfiler is disabled. There is no setting right now to enable it. By default, it's disabled on the admin. We might provide a feature, a checkbox to allow that. If I go back, then I think I can see the SQL. I can't. Oh my god, it was working. SQLite is weird, and MiniProfiler doesn't handle that correctly. I find an issue, so I have to check with SQL. But it's there. I could see it. That's very weird. I could see the SQL. I just had to go to admin and to go back. I can't explain. This is the admin. I don't know why I don't see the SQL. It was appearing as a different column and I could see the SQL statement. Ah, so sad. Maybe it's the recipe? I don't know. Doesn't work anymore. I will look into that. Maybe SQLite. I don't know. It was working, so I could also see the SQL queries. But that's good. We have MiniProfiler, so we can see how long it takes. And also it works now on the client. Tells you request, response, and DOM loading. Yeah. But at least we have one. First,
I like it.
Thank you. But we can't see SQL. That's the most important part. So what you will have seen. Oh yes, I don't remember. I've seen that actually on this recipe. Maybe that's an issue with. I don't know this page. That's weird because on the agency I could see the single request, single query, because that's what it happens now. There is a single query to load the full page or the full content item. In this case, there will be 2 queries, one for the blog content item and one query to load all the blog posts, or the first page at least. So 2 queries. And that's it. In Orchard.1, there will be like 16 queries on the home page, literally. But now it's only 1.
Well, considering that all the stuff I work on is each control on there will require a SQL statement, I would be very interested to be able to get the page laid out with all the controls and be able to see the time for each one of each one of the controls and the SQL time, the time it took. Because I'm always arguing with the DBAs or something like that, Oh, why is the page slow? Well, the SQL you wrote is slow.
No, well, yes, you can also, yeah.
So there's always that argument.
At least you can see what's happening. Then find out why. But yeah, you could see that and the time it takes, and it will also warn you if it finds the same query again and again. And by knowing the SQL that is executed, then you can optimize the database to run this SQL more efficiently if you don't have access to the SQL itself. But that's good. Then the second demo is based on what Jasmine did on the culture management. So now the new thing is that if you go to configuration settings, general, he already showed it a few weeks ago. The default culture, so you have management for the cultures. So there are two things. There is the list of the cultures that your site supports, and this list is very important. This list tells that this site is available in these languages, meaning you will provide the translations in terms of views and in terms of content for this website. Most sites are in a single language. In our case, in this case, ENUS, so English. But in Europe, most sites are in multiple languages, at least 2 or 3. Okay, let's say French, English, German, Dutch, and sorry, Matthias, Spanish, and so we need multiple languages. So in this case, so we have the default culture, which is the culture that will be used if the user didn't provide any information about the language the user wants. So when I open a site, for instance, when I open this site, I go to the home page. What is the language as a user that I'm requesting? Here, I'm not saying anything, like in the URL, I'm not saying anything. But if I look at the network and I do it again, localhost, in the request, you will see there is an accept language, ENUS. ASP.NET Core, with the default configuration, will look into this header and take it as a hint to find which language to use to render the page. Okay, it's actually taking 3 elements into considerations by default. First, it's looking at the URL. So if I say exclamation point, I don't remember, Jasmine, is it culture? Yes, culture en-us, it will take that in priority because I'm explicitly asking for this page with the culture enus. Okay, so I have, by the way, I have enabled the localization module, otherwise you don't see anything like this. So if I ask
to spell culture correctly,
if I spell culture correctly, it might work. Okay, so here I'm asking for French. Okay, and because I'm asking for French, let's look at the page source. It's using enus. Okay, what happened is that so to see exactly what culture we are taking, you just look at this one because it's integrated now into the layout. So that's very useful by default. So I asked for French, but it gave me enus because I said I don't support anything, and whatever you ask me for, I will take enus then. Okay. Now if I say, sorry, I go back and I say the default culture of the system, I will add a new supported language. I will say Espanol. Is it like this? I think so. Spanish, Spain. Okay, and I go back here. And now I can select. So it's showing up enus because this is the system language. It knows my system is in enus, so it will take this one. But if I say, no, I want Spanish, sorry, as my default language. You see the site has been restarted for the settings to take effect. So the tenant has been restarted. And now I go on this page. I ask for French. And if I look at what it's generating, you bet that could not work. Okay. Jasmine, what did you break? Okay, we'll restart the site. demos are always good because you can
Maybe
finish it.
retry view source.
Yeah, I should have retry. So it's running the site. I broke everything. Okay, it's there. View source. ENUS. Oh my god. Let's see what's set here.
Have you enabled the module localization?
Good job. Good job, Jasmine.
Yeah.
Good job. I knew it, but I saw the UI, so I'm like, no, we don't. Yeah, because the settings is as part of the default settings module, but applying the settings is part of the localization module. Oh my god, so bad. Thank you. So here, now if I go here, F5, yes, yes. So I asked explicitly, well, let me ask explicitly for, if I don't say anything, it shows me yes, yes. If I say French, it's still yes, yes. If I say English, it's still yes, yes. Because this is the only thing that we support. Spanish, okay? And this is default. Now let me add some more supported culture. I will add French. French is supported, okay? Now if I ask for English, it gives me Spanish. If I ask for French,
You need to save your setting to restart the.
But the site needs. Oh, the site needs to be restarted. I thought you would have saved it. Yeah, right.
No.
I go there.
No.
Save. But French is a supported culture. Maybe you should list. No, that's fine. Okay. So if I go there, F5. Okay. Now it works. I ask for French. It says okay. Now it's French. If I ask for ENUS, it will say Spanish. Because ENUS is not a supported culture, so it will go and use the default one, which is ES. If I say nothing, it's like requesting the English one, because the accept language header will be sent, but it says, no, I don't have English, so I use ES. And now if I also say that English is a supported language, you can also select from the list, but it's faster for me to type here. Manage settings, save. If I say nothing, it will give me the NUS because I say nothing in the URL, but the accept language header said my Chrome is configured to request English, so it got English. If I say that I prefer French, it gave me French over the accept language, which is ENUS, because the URL has the higher priority, then the cookies, if a cookie is set with the value, has another priority. And this is what is interesting, is that in the URL, in the menu, for instance, you could have a drop-down with all the available supported languages with a nice flag or just a list. And as you will select it, you will set the cookie on the client with the preferred language, which will be kept across navigations. So this menu will still keep the state that it was selected. And also the system will use this cookie over the one that Chrome sends and sets your language to the one that you specified here. So the next step to have is a culture selector menu, which Nick actually did for Orchard.One back in the time. And also Nick did the admin theme to support the RTL languages. So we need that also in the admin. So now also the themes can be customized to support the RTL tag we have. So if I add a supported language, which is Persian, and Persian here is maybe IR, like Iran. here. What is it? Help me.
OR.
Farsi.
OR. Farsi.
Do you see it in the list? So F, yes, FA.
FA dash.
Okay, I got it. So now it's a supported culture. So if I ask for it, I will get it because it's supported. And oh no, it's I don't say anything.
And maybe you can display the home page with a date.
Yes, yes, I should have. Oh my God, thank you. That's the demo I wanted to do because that's what we did with Jasmine to show that it was working. Because it's yeah, and I also want to show you the localization. So now you see FAIR, and if I look at the body, there RTL right to left, which means we can customize the CSS files that we have in the themes to say if this one is set, then change this property of this text, the size, the location, and everything. So the themes can behave differently based on the direction of the language now. That will be super useful for the admin because it works also for the admin. Okay. So good suggestion, Antoine. You said, oh, just edit the homepage, which is let's say I will go on the blog post. Okay, not the homepage, but I will go on the blog post because it's easier for me. And on this blog post, what I will do, I will change in the theme, the blog theme, the views, I have the content, blog post summary, blog post liquid, this is this one. Yeah, I will do it on the home page just because you suggested it. So in the end, I will add now, and I think we can say date. I could have shown the shape that we used with Jasmine to show you, but that should work. So if I go back on the home page,
But there is already August 11 in your blog post. So if you just...
yes, it will work, right. Okay, so if I just change the culture, because the default one is what? Spanish? Apparently it was English, but here I have requested French, so I have now the thing in French. If I ask for Spanish, I get it in Spanish. And let's have fun. Boom, it's here. And what is interesting is that it's on the left. Okay, beautiful. Because maybe it inherited the property in this element from the body. So that's good. So this is working. So what happens is that it will change the current culture, the current UI culture. It will change everything that is rendered using and culture aware, like dates. This is liquid, so liquid is culture aware, so it will render it using the current culture. Same thing for Razor. And also it will affect the translations that you provide in your pages. So I won't have time to demo, but if you create a PO file for the specific cultures, as it is documented on the Orchard core documentation, you will be able to provide the language for the different cultures here, and it will happen automatically. It will take the correct PO files based on the culture that has been selected based on all the selectors that you had. And if you want more selectors to find the culture based on a different mechanism, like for instance the IP address or a user setting, maybe a user wants to force not using cookies its preferences, then you can do that. It's just the SQLite core extensibility with a request culture providers. But everything works. Beautiful. Thank you, Jasmine. Questions? Good. No questions. Beautiful. So, time, no questions. Topics have been talked about. See you next week or on Thursdays for the ones who have issues. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Cheers, Sebastian. Bye.